Well, I think I got the basic design down on this thing. Not too sure about the front axle yet. Time to start taking the body off. I've been soaking everything down with penetrating oil, every bolt. Everything's just gonna have to come off at some point. Right now I just need to get the body off so I can start modifying the frame and figure out everything else, I guess. I'm gonna keep spraying it with the penetrating oil. I think I can get most of the bolts to just come loose. While that's marinating, I'm gonna jack the front of this thing up, move that axle around a little bit, take a few pictures, see which one I like the best. If I leave it where it is now, that's going to be the easiest for the steering and brakes and everything. The other thing that I need to check out is in the back to see how close the differential is to the bottom of the Jeep. Let's do that now. What do you think about the gas cans for gas tanks? I think it's pretty cool. This one's got stamped in it 1954. Alright. Here's the differential. Let's see what we got up in there. Got a little bit of room. It's like about 2 inches. I think that might clear. I don't know. It'll be really close. I'm not too concerned if it hits the bottom of the floor. It'll clearance itself, I guess. So I gotta get some of these bolts out down here, and then we'll get this thing off. And then we'll cut a C-notch in the back. Should give me plenty of clearance for travel. And then we're gonna modify the leaf spring setup too. But first I gotta get the body off. I'm gonna hit it a couple more times with some penetrating oil, and then I think it'll all unbolt. Okay, I'm getting ready to move this axle around a little bit. I'll take a picture with each movement. I'm gonna move it like 2 inches each time. I think I'll make them alphabetical. If you see a letter that you like, put it in the comments. This will be letter A. I was able to get the doghouse off. Got pieces everywhere. I got the brake pedal, clutch pedal out. Next thing that's holding me up is steering wheel. Gotta figure out how to pop this thing off of here. I want to try to save it, maybe reuse it. So I'm trying not to turn it into crumbs because it's full of cracks. I think a little piece already fell out of it. Got the nut loose, but I just can't get it off that steering shaft. Been digging through all my tools trying to make something work. Once I figure that out, then I just got the body bolts left in the tub, and it can come off the frame, and then it's time to get serious. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at this silly steering wheel. So I believe the only way to get it out of there is to get the wheel off and take it all apart. As far as I know, the shaft goes right into the steering box. So the wheel has to come off, this thing has to come off, and then that can go out the bottom. Well, I still haven't figured out how to get the steering wheel off yet, but I think I'm gonna make that a future me problem. And if any of you know a good way to get the steering wheel off, please leave it in the comment. I'd appreciate it a lot. So in the name of progress, what I've decided to do is I just unbolted the steering box. It can stay with the body for now. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the body bolts. See how many of them I can break off, and then we can get this thing off the frame. Well, if you're keeping score on how many body bolts I got out. I got out 3. Now I got 5 to go. There's one right there. It's just spinning around because it's a carriage bolt and a washer. And I think that's not original, because the other bolt is like in here somewhere and all this rotten wood. So to get to that bolt, I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this across here, open it up, get all that wood stuff out of there. Guess we'll see if it's flammable or not. On the front bolt here, I think I'm just gonna put a little tack weld on that washer. Shouldn't take much to loosen the bolt. And then we'll go over here to the other side, and I'm using a muffin pan to separate my bolts, just writing down what they go to. My dirt pile's getting bigger again. Okay, here's another one with the washer. I'm gonna go ahead and just do another tack weld over here, see if I can just get that one to come loose. And then this bolt here, it doesn't even connect to the body anymore, so I'll deal with that when the body's off. And there's one more carriage bolt in the back, and I think I'll hit that with the tack weld too. Here's some more of that rotten wood. Make sure we get all of that out. Once the body's off the frame and we can see everything. Well, I did the slice and dice right here, and that stuff was pretty crusty. This is the biggest piece of wood I've taken out so far. Most of it's just kind of dust. Thought I'd show you what kind of crud is in that thing. A bunch of dirt packed in the end there. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up before I get the welder in here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start tacking these washers down and seeing if the bolts will come loose. Oh, down here is where the factory bolt is. I don't know if you can see that, but dug that out. I think that'll actually come loose now that I can get to it. Well, what can I say? Sometimes stuff happens. But I did get all the bolts out. Now I'll put it back on the jack stands and take the body off. I'm almost ready to pull the body off the frame. I got 2 more things I want to do. I'm going to put that eye bolt in the floor right there. I'm going to use my engine hoist to pick this thing up, since I figure I'm going to have to put it on and off probably 10 times to make it easy for myself. The other thing I got to do is make some room in the garage to put the body. So I'm going to work on that next. Well, I got the eye bolt bolted in there. It's time to take this thing off the frame. I already got it jacked up, so apparently it's going to hold the weight. Guess I'll set the camera up and we'll see if it goes horribly wrong or just works out. Alright, well that was pretty uneventful. Worked out pretty good. Here's the frame. First time seeing the body off. Bunch more dirt to clean up. First thing we're going to start on this is I'll put a C-notch in right here. And then I would like to take the leaf spring and move it to the outside of the frame so I can move the mounts up front and rear. That should give me like 3-4 inches of drop right there. That'll be a good start on figuring out the suspension's gonna sit. Okay, and here's our brake master cylinder, clutch pedal, brake pedal. The front part of the frame, not really sure what I'm doing with that yet. It's one of the reasons why I took pictures of the axle in different spots so I can look them over, and since it doesn't have a body on it to compare anything to now. And since we're right here, let's look at the bottom of the Jeep. Ended up just putting on its side on a couple of dollies, make it easy to move around. Here's some more where that wood's in there and rotted out. There's a couple rot holes there. This is probably the worst spot. It's where that toolbox is. That's not looking real pretty either. See a bunch of wood in there. I'll have to do a little fabrication on the rust, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. So next week's video should be the C-notch and modifying the rear suspension. Make sure you come back and check that out. That's when things will start to get interesting. I got a whole lot to figure out on this thing. We'll tackle it one piece at a time. Well, I think that's it for the video this week. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or comments, leave them down in the comments. And thanks for hanging out in Little Carburetor Spring, Colorado. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.